Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving into some PvP with the Slasher team taking on Free Spirits. Specifically Free Spirits, because people keep telling me that Free Spirit is still the best team in the game, and I strongly disagree. Look, you might disagree with me that Slashers aren't the best team in the game. Maybe you say Strength is, maybe you say Quick Driven Slasher, but nowadays, Free Spirit has dropped off drastically. I'm not saying the team is bad. I'm not even saying that the team can't beat Slashers, because it definitely can. However, for it to beat Slashers, a lot of things have to go wrong for Slashers. A lot of things have to go right for the Free Spirit team. And for both of those things to happen, the chances of it actually happening are actually a lot lower than what is the chances of it not happening. So, in today's video, like I said, we're going to be prioritizing the Free Spirit team. Now, I put out a tier list video of my top 5 PvP teams just yesterday as I'm recording this particular video. So, if you guys want to go check that out, I'll leave a link in the description. Leave your thoughts, leave your opinions, and I will happily make more videos like this, responding to comments and responding to opinions on that particular video of how I justify ranking my particular teams. But like I said, in today's video, we're just prioritizing the Free Spirit build with my Slasher team. Now, when it comes to PvP, obviously RNG is a massive factor. RNG in PvP, the game mode's basically built around it. And your job as a player, when you are picking what team to go up against, is to choose the best team to take on the opposition team to reduce the amount of RNG in your favor. Also, reduce it against the enemy, so that way you have more RNG. Now, there is a big RNG character that does run around on the Free Spirit team, and that character goes by the name of Nami Karina. Everybody hates fighting Nami Karina. Nobody enjoys using Nami Karina, but everyone knows how good Nami Karina actually is. And the reason that Nami Karina are so good, they can actually roll back specials. Now, rolling back specials has quickly become one of the most overpowered mechanics in the entire game. But not only do they do that, but they get lower defense as well. They pick 2 enemies with the highest CT to roll back their special by 40%. Yes, a whopping 40%. And they give level 4 defense down. Plus, after they do that, they do it again to whatever units have the most CD after the first rollback. This can sometimes hit the same unit twice. Stereotypically, it will hit 4 separate units and lower their defense by level 4. Now, Nami Karina are a great unit because not only are they an exceptional special using unit, but they're on a very, very low CD reduction, and their passive buffs everyone. It's a rainbow passive buff. You can chuck them on a rainbow team, you can use them on a Free Spirit team, you can use them on a cerebral team, and they're going to just slide in on the team very, very nicely and very, very easily. They're a great nerfing unit, they're a great debuffing unit, and they swing the RNG factor completely out of whack. Most of the time, it's within your favor. Sometimes it's not within your favor when using the particular character. So, going up against Nami Karina and having Nami Karina in your front lines for Free Spirit, it's very powerful, and it's something that I would highly recommend using if you are running Free Spirit, and using that to your advantage, because not only does the rollback work so nicely, but the defense down is the big gimmick. And not when you are taking on Slashers, or when Slashers are versing Free Spirit, losing the special of something like Roger and Whitebeard, or losing the special of something like S-Hawk, means that you lose a lot of damage. The downside I do find to Free Spirit are they do lack a lot of damage potential to then follow that up. Even with Luffy Yamato going here, like, we're in no issues whatsoever. Now, these first 2 teams obviously are drastically hindered by the fact that we have a lot more investment than the opposition. The opposition is basically running a 6-man team, and the 6-man team is already a deficit to an 8-man team. And that's another huge problem that Free Spirit have. Free Spirit can run an 8-man team, but it's not a synergetic, successful 8-man team like the 3 teams that I put above it. That doesn't mean it can't work. However, stereotypically, the best option for an offensive build is to use 6 units, 5 legends, 1 very good PvP legend, or a PvP rare recruit like Inuyasuma, Otama, something like that, to get an edge with your front line. Obviously, investment is a huge part of PvP as well, and even when running a 6-man team, if you have more investment than the opposition, stereotypically, your team is going to do better. Now, with my Slasher team per se, it's a little bit of bias because I have everything rainbowed, I have everything limit break expanded, and I have everything basically besides S-Hawk at level 150. This obviously increases your damage. It not only increases your damage, but increases your HP, your defense, and all of the factors that it can take into value of tanking, dealing damage, and all of that fun stuff in PvP. Now, this particular Free Spirit team that we're going up against is heavily invested. Their Luffy is level 150. Their Nami, Karina is level 150. I believe their Odin is as well. And as you can see, with these investments, look, Cerebral's got a little bit of a buff this season, but I'm not going to include that. With these investments, Nami, Karina can easily tank a shot from S-Hawk. Having that level 99 comparison to level 150, it's a huge difference. Like, it's not, like, it's massive. Not really for the damage output when we're talking Nami Karina, but when we're talking the HP and the defensive capabilities they need to survive to just continuously use their special, this is a massive factor. Like a monstrous factor. Now remember, my S-Hawk is level 130, limit break expanded, and rainbowed. Max sockets, 560 candy, 190 of that being attack. So that attack stat is ridiculously high. And Nami Karina literally ate it like it was cheese. Like, no issues whatsoever. So obviously, if your team has more investment than the opposition's, then you are going to be a little bit more on an even playing field. However, stuff like good units and timing of specials, synergy, all that kind of stuff does come into play a lot more than what investment does, because you can have just a whole bunch of level 150 units, all limit break expanded, and they don't do anything for each other, and then see you later. But as you can see with this particular run right here, Free Spirits, they do have the capabilities of beating slashes. Hell, they probably have the capabilities of beating the other two teams' strength and quick driven slashes that I put in front of them. However, 9 times out of 10, I always find way more consistency with the slasher team. I find way more consistency with the strength team, and I find way more consistency with the driven slasher quick team. That's such a mouthful saying that. But as mentioned, that doesn't mean that Free Spirits are bad. They can still do stuff like this. They can put other teams on the back burner with a very good investment. They can do some really nice things. And obviously, a lot of the characters on the Free Spirit team are all very, very good in regular play. So stereotypically, you're going to have way more investment in those characters than something that you only use for the PvP game mode. So within my PvP tier list video, my top 5, I did include Odin in the front lines, and Odin is a fantastic character to have in the front for Free Spirit teams. He works exceptionally well. However, there is another character that I have been doing a little bit of testing with since that video did come out, and that's Robin Koala. Robin Koala are so good for the Free Spirit team. They're a really, really good damage output unit. Stereotypically, most people will have Odin at level 150 compared to Robin Koala just being a newer legend. But when I was doing some testing on the PvP challenge mode against S-Hawk, everyone was saying that they were rocking the challenge with Free Spirit with no issues whatsoever. However, when I tried it, I was having a lot of issues, and realistically, I wasn't using the right team. Robin Koala are just a fantastic unit in the front line to not only nerf other Free Spirit units, but also work exceptionally well alongside Nami and Karina. Now, whilst the core staple for me is the monster trio of King of Hell Zoro, Rush Sanji, and 6+ Gear 5, the other two units are just stereotypically interchangeable. And obviously, as I rambled on at the start, Nami Karina and producing so much RNG works exceptionally well. However, having Robin Koala now buff Cerebral units means that Nami Karina hangs around just for a little bit longer. It allows them to get a lot more tanking out, a lot more defense. Plus, they also get a really, really nice buff from that Cerebral buff. However, I do find that if you are going to use this build, you really want to make sure that you're using 6+ Luffy, not Luffy Yamato. A lot of people were saying Luffy Yamato works exceptionally well, and whilst I do think Luffy Yamato is a fantastic unit, as you guys saw in this particular run, we just absolutely steamrolled through the front, and this was a product of getting some really good RNG, the Slashers doing everything that they need to do perfectly, and just absolutely decimating something like the Free Spirit comp. If you are going to do it, I would run it very similar to this, and I have actually been doing some testing with Robin Koala in the front rather than something like Odin. and I'm having great results. I do think that Robin Koala in the front is an exceptional choice, especially when you are using Nami Karina. Nami Karina were basically the 4th unit that came in onto the Free Spirit team, said, hey, sweet, hey, how you going? Let's rock it, let's roll it. Lots of people like to use Otama and then build out the 8-man team. However, I do find that just having Otama in the front lines does drastically reduce your damage output. It makes the team very slow. The healings, whatever, the cooldown reduction is really not needed in regular PvP. In Grand Party, it's fantastic. It's phenomenal. However, in regular PvP, I do find that it does miss the mark just a little bit. So, going up against another fairly heavily invested team, they have 120 Sanji, I saw 130 Zoro, I believe. Their Gear 5 was level 150, and their Nami Karina, I believe, is around 110. So, they are doing really good damage. As you can see here, like, the shots that Robin Koala put out, if they hit a Free Spirit character, is gnarly. And obviously with my slasher build, we have 3 Free Spirits on the team. They're taking a massive defensive nerf. Like, sitting at 3 defense on a slasher team nowadays, it's like the days of old, and it's not a place you want to be. However, like I said, with investments, KDAD manages just to hang on. We have a pretty solid bench option if we do lose units. And remember, my slasher team isn't even the best slasher team. I'm missing PvP Brook. Now, that's not like the huge, like, oh no, Stump, you're missing PvP Brook, oh, whatever will you do? It's still another really strong unit that I would have on my bench, making my team just a little bit more complete and a little bit more synergetic, rather than what you guys are actually seeing here. But as you can see, like, I lost, before sitting down to record this, I actually lost my very first fight against Free Spirit. Other than that, I've never had any issues whatsoever. Once we wrap up this particular fight, to remove the bias factor, I'm going to dive into the S-Hawk challenge with my Free Spirit team, just to show you guys the difference in investment. Because like I said, my slash team I have worked on, because I love, this is my favorite PvP team right here. Like this, I just click the bottom team and I just fight it. Whatever's there, whatever's going to give me the most points, I don't even care. I just take it on. Like the slasher team, for me, it loses maybe like 1 out of 100 times. Unless it's a mirror match, then I'm like, cool. But as you guys saw in today's video, like, Free Spirit, whilst are still very good, don't get me wrong, nowhere am I saying Free Spirit's bad. I just don't think that Free Spirit holds a candle to slashers, who I believe are number 1, or even something like your strength or your quick-driven slasher team. Alright, so as mentioned, I have been doing some stuff with Robin Koala. This is my Free Spirit team. Not exactly, like, as invested as my slasher team. And obviously, with having a 6-man build, it does mean that our combat power is going to be drastically lower. What I do have, though, is a Limit Break expanded Zoro, level 150, and a Gear 5 Luffy at level 130 with Limit Break expansion. As for the rest of the units, I believe I can get my Sanji to level 150, which I should probably do. Robin Koala is around 130 for me, I believe. And then Nami Karina, I've only ever pulled 1 extra dupe of, and I would like to keep that as an unevolved copy. So my Nami Karina, she's quite low invested. But if your Nami Karina is more invested in, like you guys saw with that other team that we versed that was level 150, you can easily survive shots from S-Hawk and not have an issue with it at all. However, the thing with slashers is they have other units that follow up the attacks. Like Odin is a great unit at just cleaning up the scraps that S-Hawk can provide. Same with KDAD. If KDAD goes off and hits all of the same units, like Sanji unfortunately took 2 shots there, which means Sanji is just going to die. We haven't even seen Roger and Whitebeard yet. Luckily for us, our RNG of having Inuyasuma come in with a special works exceptionally well, because Inuyasuma are cerebral, which means he also works amazingly off the bench for Robin and Koala. With Nami Karina coming in now, we are going to double drop Roger and Newgate, which means that Roger Newgate took an 80% CD reduction and a level 8 defense drop. This is fantastic because that unit is so damn powerful that he can easily bink away 2 units. Having something like the counter mechanic of Zoro now with normal attacks for Roger and Whitebeard means they're taking like 4,500 from normal attacks, which is just disgustingly strong, like ridiculously strong. However, even when the run looks like it's going in the right direction, as you guys see here, things can change very, very quickly with the slasher team. If S-Hawk survives, if Roger and Whitebeard survive, and they manage to get their special off, which they didn't, but S-Hawk did, you're in for a pretty rough time. They use special binding of Law as well, and whilst this PvP challenge fight isn't exactly like the be-all or end-all for it, this is just a prime example of where my heavy investments compared to the enemy's non-heavy investments do come into play. Now, yes, they are using 3 legends on the bench, which stereotypically you will not see in the slasher team. However, as you guys saw with my bench, like, Shiki's a great unit, Cat Viper's a fantastic character, and PvP Brook, man, PvP Brook absolutely rocks. Like, he is so friggin' powerful. So, whilst, yes, they are using legends on the bench to come in and help them out, the legends they chose aren't exactly, like, the greatest characters, and honestly, like, PvP Brook I would have in this team immediately. They have Dofi, and they're not using Zoro and Sanji, so in my opinion, like, the team isn't as good as what my Slash team was anyway, and it managed to get it to take us down, even with good RNG for us. Saying that, though, that doesn't mean Free Spirit can't win, and as I mentioned at the start of the challenge fight, if I had my Nami Karina a little bit more invested in, I probably had a couple posters, maybe had a couple of extra dupes to increase the HP and the defense and stuff like that, Nami Karina might have survived just a little bit longer to get their special off. S-Hawk probably wouldn't have gone off, and look, the fight could have gone a very different way. But again, that is funneling into that RNG aspect, favoring the brave and just allowing Free Spirits to do their thing. Hell, we might not even have won. Like, we might have just got timed out. The enemy might have still gone. So many different factors could happen. But with some better RNG or blowback and all of that fun stuff that Free Spirits provided, because remember, Zoro is giving you level 5 blowback to the enemy, and you might think blowback sucks, but blowback is probably one of the most underrated mechanics in PvP, especially when you are using a team that is so reliant on RNG. What blowback does is it knocks the opposition back and reduces their order. And when you are using something like Nami and Karina, knocking them back one spot to then have Nami Karina go and reduce their special cooldowns is absolutely monstrous for a team build. It stops units like S-Hawk, it stops units like Roger and Whitebeard, and for the Free Spirit team to win, that's basically what needs to happen. You need to get something like this to happen, where you are blowing units back. They're doing their normal attacks right before their special is about to go off, and even if their special goes off, you need stuff like S-Hawk and Roger and Whitebeard to hit units like Zoro and Luffy, who both have revives. If the enemy uses an S-Hawk special and hits Luffy and Zoro, it doesn't kill either of them, and then Roger and Whitebeard goes and hits Luffy and Zoro, you've just tanked so much free damage and got 2 revives off it. However, that doesn't always need to be the case. If you can take down pieces of their puzzle, still keep units like Zoro around, Robin Koala around with the amount of damage that they can output, you can still beat slasher teams. Like I said at the start, Free Spirit can still get it done. It's not like a sure thing where slashers strength or quick slasher driven is always going to beat Free Spirits. Just in my opinion and my personal experience, stereotypically, I have more consistency with the teams that I put higher up on that particular tier list. But it was a lot of fun making this video. If you guys have any ideas, or if you guys want to contest any other placements, please let me know in the comment section below. Whilst you're down there, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, whether you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. Go check out the top 5 video. It was a lot of fun to make as well. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.